Hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me back out on the banks of the reservoir and we're in search of them quality roach, and if we're lucky, again missed attention. So in recent videos in the comments section I have seen people asking a bit more of an in-depth look at the setup. Today seems a perfect opportunity. I've got a half day off work, it's about 1:30. I've nipped out, so we'll have an in-depth look at the setup and hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 roach on the bank. The swim we're in today is one that I've never fished before, so I'm super excited to learn a bit more about the lake and see if we can catch in this corner of it. So this morning, sat at my desk in work, I've got that out the way, and all I've been thinking about is getting out in the reservoir. The setup is behind me, so let's waste no time at all and let's make a start. Looking at the setup, 9 times out of 10 I will always go with my 17-foot rod. The reservoir is deep in places and it can be quite busy at times, so you can never preempt where you're going to get on the swims. The 17-foot rod means you can fish the down wall and anywhere on this reservoir around the margins, and it gives me that versatility to approach any swim. So I'd always say take the longest rod you can. It also gives you that control as well when striking. The longer the rod, the quicker you can pick up the line and hit them bites, and with fast biting fish like roach can make all the difference. So the float that we're using today is my 6-gram reservoir. Now in years gone by or weeks gone by I would never have had this float on, but it makes casting super easy and it's still got the sensitivity in the tip. When you're trying to catch fish on the drop and in all the layers, it's an excellent float for seeing any lift bites or any bites on the drop, especially when fishing maggot. But yeah, since using this in the past couple of weeks, yeah, there's no looking back for the reservoir. It just makes it so much easier to cast out. I always attach the float on the line with the cord and float stops, and I keep all my weight around this area. What that means is there's one point on the line there where there's a lot of weight, and then right on top of my hook link I've got 4 number 8 stots. What these mean is you can move them easy up and down the line, but that is your second point on your setup where you've got a bit of weight. Makes casting super easy, so you've only ever got 2 plops. You've got the plop of the float and the weight, and the second one. If you just feather the line as you cast, it makes casting super easy. You want to hear them 2 plops as they hit the water. So the other reason why I use a bulk shot as well is most of the reservoir is the same. It's quite shallow around the margins and then drops off. You'll notice on the channel I try and draw the fish as close to me as I can, and I will draw them at times up the shelf. What that allows me to do is lay them shots on bottom and almost anchor it down. When the waves get up and the wind gets up, it's a great tactic for keeping your float steady and not having it drifting off down the reservoir. The hook links that I use are called pre-tied maggot rigs. They're all the same length. What it means is if you have to change hook link, you're not worrying about losing your depth. If you're getting bites, there's nothing worse than making a change that might alter the depth of your rig. It also means I can fish maggot and corn on the same type of hook, and they are quite robust. You've seen in recent videos we've landed tench and some quality fish on them rigs, so I've got the confidence in them as well. So hopefully that little bit of the vlog just shows a bit of an insight into the setup that I use, why I use it and how I set it up, and will help you out when you're fishing for them guys that have asked the questions. If you have got any more questions, feel free to answer them below and I'll do my best to get a reply. Let's waste no time at all now, let's get it in action and see what this swim holds. So we're out in the water now. You can see got all the basics I need. I've got the keep net, all the basics that I need in there, me plummet, nice and safe, me GoPro. You see the hook links and stuff like that. So looking at the side tray, we've got plenty of that Hinders hemp, and it's from the same jar that we had open on the last session. It's been sat in my bait cupboard the whole time I've been away on holiday. And yeah, we've got plenty of it there, and we've got a bit more in the jar behind us. And we've got corn. We know there's quality fish in the reservoir today. We've only got the afternoon. So I'm just going to target straight away with corn and look for them quality fish. Looking at the swim, like I say, it's a swim that I've not fished before. In the last vlog we fished down there and you can see we're on the other side of them reeds. We have got the wind blowing towards us, which they had give quite a warm day today. A roach is just top there, which is a good confidence boost, but yeah, that wind is getting up. We've got all manner of reeds down here, so there could be tench, there could be carp about, and again the usual struggles we're going to have if we hit one. They're all going to go that way, aren't they? That wind is going to pose a problem, but we've got that 6-gram waggler, and I'm just going to start off here, and the swim goes out gradually, does drop off gradually as well into a nice depth. If you look at the rod there, the hook is on the bottom ring and we're up there, so we've got a good, what, 5 or 6 foot of depth, which is just nice for catching roach. So yeah, beautiful afternoon, done my morning in work, and let's make a start. So on the first cast, just been putting a bit of hemp in to begin with, and into the first roach, which is a great sign, like I always say on the reservoir. To get bites straight away is what you want. You see there we've got a nice depth, and hopefully it's the start of a few fish. Sat in work this morning, a palm full of roach is what I was thinking about, and great to get into bite so quickly. So always good to get a bite on the first cast. It's a nice gentle lob, you're just feathering the line so you get them 2 plops of the float, and then it'll be nice and positive with the hemp. And so there's a lot of fish in here, so we've got to draw them in. So we're starting off with 2 nice pouches of hemp. And there we go, before we fed the second pouch. Got a bite. It feels like a decent one. And great to be getting fish of this quality so quick, especially when you've only got an afternoon. And we're only a few weeks now the river's opening, but great to come on the reservoir, and these have really got under my skin of late. These and the carp in here are really enjoying me fishing. Targeting the roach. We've had a few carp as well, haven't we? But yeah, beautiful fishing. And so just getting the float out there, nice big pouch of hemp over the top, and then just reeling that float into it. And there we go, beautiful fishing. If we keep getting them in that depth of water there, with that weight we put on the bottom, we can also come a bit closer to us as well and lay some line on the bottom. But at the moment we can get to where we're putting the bait and we're getting bites. There's some quality fish now coming to the net. See, that wind has dropped perfectly. They had to give it this hot all day and no clouds, but I'd prefer it just to stay like this. A bit of a breeze, and yeah, you can see that float dead clear and feed really accurately. So like you've seen, the setup is dead simple this morning. Keep it simple and there are less things that can go wrong, and often simple works. That's a beautiful roach, that. So when I'm talking about being positive with the hemp, that is the amount that we're feeding each time. You can see there, nice positive amount going into the swim, and just shows how many fish are in here, because if you do that for a couple of hours, and every time I come here I'm packing in, getting bites, so all that food's getting ate. The other thing with this hemp as well, it's building me confidence in them jars. We're getting plenty of bites, aren't we? And that jar's been open for at least 2 or 3 weeks, so yeah. But that's how positive we are being. And hopefully this little blog is just showing you that versatility in action. That fish is coming now on the shelf, and we're just lying on with them 2 weights. And that is the beauty of that rig. You can fish dead on bottom, over depth, and it's got that stability in the water. We're moving that shoal right close into us now, and you can see it's got a bit of gold on its side, that. So yeah, beautiful roach. And with that, blue skies and a few clouds just dusting it, the rod bent into another roach as well. Just coming at nice distance out in the swim. See that waggler just tickling the top of the water. And for me, there's only one thing that really beats roach on a reservoir, and that's when you start getting these on a river. And it won't be long till them rivers open. We'll be back on the banks chasing them bream, chub, barbel, and hopefully a few of these roach will turn up as well. And with this type of fishing, it's all about getting into a routine. So casting in, reeling a little bit, nice big positive pouch of that hemp, and then we're just gonna wait for the bite, and there we go. before we've had a chance to draw it over the top on the back of the bait, we've had a bite. And that's how you can get into a routine and put together a nice net of fish, because you're all methodic, cast in nice and gentle, 2 plops, feed, draw it over the top and be set for the bite. And when you're getting roach like this, you'll soon put together a nice net. So getting into that routine, you can put together a nice net of fish that you do see on the channel on here, and you can put together a lot of fish in a short space of time. Casting in, feed over the top, and be set for the bite. And what happens then is you get lost in it a little bit. I normally just turn the camera off for a little bit, get into me fishing, and you're in the zone then, and you're getting a bite of chuck, and that's what puts together the nice nets that you see on the channel. But the basics do remain the same. Simple tackle, simple feeding, and feeding in an area where you can catch them. A few people do ask how I hook the corn, and it does come down to the different sessions and how the fish are feeding. On here, as you see, they're really confident, so I don't bury the hook, to go straight through the side, and I don't really concentrate, if I'm being honest, on how I hook the corn. But if it was on a finicky venue and they were shy biting, I'd bury the hook and just have the tip out like that. You can see there, just sit like that in the water, and you're striking up into the roach's mouth. But yeah, on here, nice confident venue, don't worry about it too much. That wind has just dropped now and making fishing beautiful. Gentle lob, nice big positive pouch of hemp, and we'll bring that, I was going to say bring the float into it, but another bite before we've had a chance. And that's just how many fish are out there. And when you think it's all on corn, you'd have some hell of a day on here on maggot as well. And there we go, another beautiful reservoir roach. Perfect. And as you would expect, as the session's building, so the quality fish are moving in, and yeah, it's good when you strike and you just feel solid and it's a roach, and you know you're getting it right. And this fish is just kited round. You see there, the beautiful reservoir. You can't beat it. A roach just coming to the net. And that is a clonking roach, and round about now I'd just be thinking about packing up at work. And I'm stood in the reservoir catching roach like that. That is a clonker. Easily over a pound, not quite 2 I don't think, but definitely over a pound. And the sun just glistening in the afternoon off the silver flanks of a roach. A perfect way to spend an afternoon off work. You can see there now, towards the end of the session, we're barely even casting into the reservoir. We've drawn them shoals right close to us. I'm lying on the bottom with that hook link. The quality fish are coming, and we've drawn that shoal right in now. You can see there, a quality roach just coming water rod length out. And that is the beauty of getting your feeding right and feeding over an area and being confident. So one thing that is weird is fishing a venue into the evening. Normally I come on here in the dark in the morning and fish in the morning and see the venue wake up, but this evening it's a bit different. You can see the venue's calmed down, you can see your float dead clear. It's beautiful fishing. And with fish like that coming into the evening, how can you not be a happy angler? We have a nice net at the end. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. I'm going to enjoy the last few half an hour, 40 minutes of the session on a beautiful evening fishing for roach. So the session does come to an end there now, and as you can see on screen, we had a great afternoon's fishing with plenty of bites and plenty of quality in that final net. So hopefully this video has helped with the tactics that I use on the venue, answered some of the questions that you do leave down below, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. And all that remains is for me to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight line.